In the remote village of Vale, nestled beneath the shadow of the Cinder Mountains, peace had long been a memory. Every full moon, a monstrous demon known as Vale would descend from the cursed caves above and leave behind ash, ruin, and blood. Livestock vanished. Homes burned. Families lived in fear, praying for deliverance. But among them lived a quiet, observant young man named Kale, a former soldier turned blacksmith, who had once walked the path of war. Years ago, he had hung up his sword after watching too many good men die. All he wanted now was peace. But peace never comes without a price. One night, the demon struck harder than ever. A child Kale knew was taken. An elder, burned alive. Kale stood before the ruins with clenched fist, feeling the weight of the village's despair and the call of something ancient within him. The next morning, he retrieved his sword, Ashenblade, forged from a fallen star and cooled in his father's blood. A weapon he had sworn never to use again. The villagers warned him, "You die like the others." But Kale replied, "Then I'll die standing, not hiding." He journeyed up the mountain, into the heart of darkness. The path was lined with bones and cursed winds. But Kale pressed on, guided by grit, rage, and a faint whisper of hope. At the demon's lair, Vale rose from a pit of fire, towering, horned, and cloaked in smoke. It laughed at Kale, mocking his mortal weakness. But Kale was not just a man. He was purpose forged by pain. They clashed for hours, steel against claw, light against shadow. Kale's blade sang through the flames, fueled by the memory of every face Vale had scarred. He was bloodied, broken, but unyielding. In a final desperate act, Kale drove Ashenblade into the demon's heart, whispering, "This is for Vale." The demon screamed, crumbled, and burst into ash. Kale collapsed. But he awoke days later, in the village healer's hut. Word of his victory had spread like wildfire. The village no longer feared the night. Kale, scarred but alive, became a living legend, not because he was the strongest, but because he was the one who stood when all others fell. He never returned to war. He tended his forge, taught the young to defend themselves, and walked the village streets not as a hero, but as a man who chose to fight when it mattered most.